All right. So, architects today are facing some pretty intense challenges, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tight deadlines, ever-changing regulations, and then this pressing need for sustainable design.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot to juggle.
Mm-hmm.
But what if they had like a secret weapon?
A secret weapon, huh?
Yeah, that's where AI tools come in. And not to replace architects, but to like supercharge their abilities.
Yeah, that's the key, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not about replacement. It's about augmenting what they can already do.
Totally. And so we're going to unpack the top 5 tools that are shaking up the architecture scene right now.
Okay, sounds good.
All based on the AI Career Lab podcast. Have you heard of that one?
Oh, yeah. I've listened to a few episodes. Really interesting stuff.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see how AI is really changing pretty much every industry.
Absolutely. And architecture is no exception.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, first up is Autodesk Generative Design.
Oh, yeah, this one's a game changer.
It almost sounds too good to be true. So you input your design goals, right?
Right.
Say a lightweight structure that minimizes material waste.
Okay.
And the AI generates thousands of potential designs.
And I mean, not just like rough sketches, but like fully realized options.
Right. It's crazy.
That consider cost, materials, even building codes.
That's what blows me away is it's not just like aesthetically pleasing, it's thinking about all these other constraints.
It's a really powerful tool.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting about it is that it uses these algorithms, like genetic algorithms to kind of evolve the designs over time.
Oh, wow.
It's almost like natural selection, but for buildings.
That's wild.
Each generation of designs gets tweaked and refined.
Okay.
And you end up with these solutions that are like incredibly efficient and often surprisingly beautiful.
Yeah. I was reading about, there's a project in London, the Green Pick Straw Energy Media Wall.
Oh, yeah.
And they use generative design to create that like complex biomorphic facade.
Yeah.
That maximizes solar energy gain while also providing natural ventilation.
That's a great example of what generative design can achieve.
So it's not just about finding a solution, it's about finding the optimal solution.
Right.
That's incredible. Now, I'm sure most architects would love to have more time in their day.
Oh, tell me about it.
Right. So that's where our next tool, TestFit, comes in, right?
Exactly. Early stage design can be a real-time sync, trying to figure out, the most efficient layout for a building.
Oh, yeah.
And TestFit just takes all that pain out of the process. It analyzes hundreds of layout variations in like minutes.
Wow.
Factoring in things like site conditions, zoning regulations, even budget constraints.
So instead of spending weeks manually sketching and tweaking layouts, architects can use TestFit to quickly identify the best options.
Exactly.
But does that mean we're going to end up with a bunch of like cookie-cutter buildings, though?
No, not at all. Think of TestFit more like a supercharged brainstorming partner. It's there to help architects quickly explore a wide range of possibilities so they can then focus on the creative aspects of design.
Okay.
In fact, I know of a firm in Chicago that used TestFit to optimize the layout of a high-rise apartment building, and they were able to increase the number of units by 10%.
Wow.
While also improving natural light penetration and even reducing energy consumption.
That's amazing. More efficient and more sustainable.
Exactly.
Sign me up. Now let's talk about Hypar. I understand it's all about automation.
Yeah, basically think of Hypar as your tireless digital assistant. It integrates seamlessly with all the popular design software like Revit and Rhino,
Okay.
automating tasks like generating those detailed models, analyzing energy performance, and even estimating costs.
So architects are already using this to streamline their workflows and get projects completed faster?
Yeah, it's all about efficiency.
Okay, so it's like having a super efficient intern who never sleeps.
Exactly.
But does this mean architects are going to be out of a job soon?
No, not a chance. Again, remember these tools are about augmenting human capabilities, not replacing them.
Okay.
Hypar and tools like it, what they do is they free up architects to focus on the aspects of design that really require human creativity and intuition.
Okay.
Things like, understanding client needs, crafting these unique spatial experiences, and considering the cultural and social impact of their work.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, this next one sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi film. Arkio.
Ah, yeah, Arkio is a lot of fun.
Tell us about that.
Imagine putting on a VR headset and stepping inside your building design.
Oh, wow.
That's what Arkio makes possible.
That's wild.
It's really a game changer for visualization and client communication.
Okay, I can see how that would be really cool for presentations, but does it actually change the design process itself?
Absolutely. By allowing architects to experience their designs in 3D, Arkio helps them identify potential spatial issues before construction even begins.
Oh, okay.
Imagine being able to walk through a virtual model and you realize that a hallway feels too narrow,
Oh, right. Yeah.
or that, a certain room doesn't get enough natural light. These are the kinds of things that can be tough to spot on a 2D drawing.
Yeah.
But they become immediately apparent in VR. And the other thing is, because Arkio is collaborative, clients and design teams can actually work together in the virtual space, refining designs in real time.
So it's not just about seeing the design, it's about experiencing it and making sure it truly works on a human scale.
Exactly.
That's really cool. Now for our final tool today, we have Cove.tool. This one seems especially relevant given the growing emphasis on sustainability.
Yeah, definitely. Cove.tool is all about helping architects design buildings that are, well, good for the planet.
Okay.
It analyzes designs for energy efficiency, daylighting, carbon emissions, and gives architects kind of a detailed report card on their building's environmental impact.
So it's not just about intuition anymore. It's about having hard data to back up your sustainability claims.
Exactly.
What's fascinating to me is how this tool is already being used in the real world. Like I was reading recently about an architecture firm that used Cove.tool to design a net zero energy office building in Seattle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really just the tip of the iceberg. As architects become more comfortable with these tools, I think we're going to see a whole new generation of buildings that are not only beautiful, but also incredibly efficient and sustainable.
Okay, so we've covered 5 AI tools that are transforming architecture. Autodesk Generative Design, TestFit, Hypar, Arkio, and Cove.tool.
Right.
Each one addresses a specific challenge and kind of opens up these new possibilities for design. But how do these tools fit into the bigger picture of the architectural profession itself? That's what we'll explore in part 2 of this deep dive. We've seen how these AI tools can boost efficiency and sustainability,
Right.
But I'm curious about the impact on the architect's role itself.
Yeah.
Are we headed towards a future where buildings design themselves?
That's a question a lot of people are asking.
Yeah.
But I see these tools as more like partners, not replacements.
Okay.
Think about it this way. Before CAD software, architects spent hours and hours hunched over drafting tables.
Right.
CAD didn't make architects obsolete, right?
Yeah.
It freed them up to think bigger and bolder.
Right.
I think these AI tools are doing the same thing, just on a much grander scale.
Okay.
They're handling those tedious tasks, crunching the numbers,
Yeah.
and allowing architects to focus on the uniquely human aspects of design.
So it's less about AI taking over and more about AI taking on the heavy lifting,
Exactly.
letting architects kind of focus on the creative vision.
Exactly. Imagine an architect who, instead of getting bogged down in spreadsheets and calculations, can spend more time understanding the needs of the community.
Right.
Crafting spaces that foster connection and, really pushing the boundaries of aesthetics and functionality. It's a future I'm excited about.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's like AI is taking care of all the left brain work,
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
freeing up the architect's right brain to soar.
Exactly.
But this kind of shift in the design process must come with some challenges, right?
Oh, of course. For one, there's a learning curve.
Oh, yeah.
These tools are powerful, but they require a new set of skills, right?
Yeah.
Architectural education is going to need to evolve, incorporate these technologies, so
Yeah.
graduates are ready to hit the ground running in this AI-powered world.
Yeah.
Imagine architecture schools with entire courses dedicated to mastering generative design or virtual reality modeling.
Yeah, wow.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like learning a new language
Yeah.
or even a whole new way of thinking about design. It's exciting, but also a little daunting.
Right, for sure.
What else should architects be thinking about as they integrate these tools into their practice?
Well, one big one is data privacy and security.
Oh, right.
I mean, these AI tools rely on vast data sets, and it's crucial to make sure that information is handled responsibly and ethically.
Yeah.
Building plans, client data, even details about how people use a space,
Right.
that's all data that needs to be protected.
That's a really good point. It's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about the ethical considerations that come with it.
Absolutely.
Are there any other kind of potential pitfalls that we should be aware of?
Well, one concern is the potential for bias.
Oh, okay.
If the data sets used to train these AI tools aren't diverse and inclusive enough,
Right.
they could perpetuate existing inequalities in the built environment.
Okay, yeah.
Imagine an algorithm that's trained primarily on data from, say, luxury high-rises.
Okay,
It might not be well equipped to design affordable housing
right.
that actually meets the needs of diverse communities.
Yeah, that's a sobering thought.
Yeah,
It highlights the importance of being critical and thoughtful about how we use these tools. We need to make sure they're not just making things more efficient,
Right.
but also making the world a more equitable and accessible place.
Exactly. That's the key. And this kind of leads into a bigger conversation about the societal impact of AI-driven architecture in general.
Right.
How will these tools reshape our cities, right?
Yeah.
Will they contribute to a more sustainable future?
Yeah.
Or exacerbate existing problems like urban sprawl and social isolation?
These are big questions.
They are, and they're questions we need to grapple with as AI becomes more and more embedded in the design process.
So it's not just about the individual buildings.
Right.
It's about the bigger picture, the impacts on our communities and the planet as a whole.
Exactly.
That's a lot to consider.
It is.
I'm also feeling hopeful, though.
Oh, yeah.
If we use these tools thoughtfully, with a focus on human-centered design,
Right.
they have the potential to unlock incredible solutions to some of our most pressing challenges.
I agree. Think about the possibilities. Cities where buildings adapt to the environment, minimizing energy consumption and maximizing comfort.
Right.
Homes that are personalized to the needs of their inhabitants, promoting well-being and accessibility.
Yeah.
Public spaces that foster connection and community, revitalizing urban life.
Yeah.
These are just a few of the potential benefits that AI-driven architecture could bring.
Okay, so we've talked about the exciting possibilities,
Right.
but also the potential pitfalls.
Mm-hmm.
What does this all mean for the future of architecture? Where do we go from here?
Well, one thing's for sure. The way we design and build is changing, and it's changing rapidly.
Yeah.
The question is, are we ready to embrace this change, right?
Yeah.
Are we willing to learn new skills, challenge old assumptions, and collaborate in new ways?
I guess that's the question we'll try to answer in the final part of our deep dive.
Yeah.
We'll explore some potential scenarios for the future of architecture
Okay.
and leave you, dear listener, with some provocative questions to ponder. Okay,
Yeah.
so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
Yeah, we have.
We've talked about the power of AI tools to transform the way architects design and, the potential benefits and the challenges.
Yeah.
And the ethical considerations we need to keep in mind, but now I want to look ahead.
Okay.
What could our cities, our buildings, even our homes look like in a future that's shaped by this AI-driven architecture?
Yeah, it's exciting to think about, right?
It is.
Imagine a city where buildings kind of seamlessly blend with the natural
Oh,
environment,
wow.
where skyscrapers mimic the organic forms of trees,
Okay.
harnessing wind and solar energy with this incredible efficiency where green spaces aren't just parks tucked between buildings,
Right.
but woven into the very fabric of the urban landscape, creating a healthier, more vibrant ecosystem for everyone.
It sounds almost utopian.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, but how would AI actually help us achieve this kind of harmonious integration of nature and the built environment?
Well, generative design could play a huge role, right?
Okay.
We could input parameters like maximizing daylight, minimizing material use,
Right.
promoting biodiversity,
Okay.
and AI could generate just countless design options
Yeah.
that meet those goals in ways we might never have imagined.
So it's not just about aesthetics.
Right.
It's about using AI to create buildings that are truly in sync with their surroundings.
Exactly.
What about the buildings themselves?
Yeah.
How might AI change the way we experience the spaces we inhabit every day?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Imagine walking into an office building
Okay.
and it intuitively adjusts the lighting and temperature based on your preferences.
Oh, wow.
Or a home that kind of anticipates your needs.
Yeah.
Gently reminding you to take breaks or suggesting healthy recipes based on the ingredients you have in your fridge.
That's wild.
AI could create these truly personalized and responsive environments
Okay.
that enhance our well-being.
That sounds incredible.
It does, right?
But it also raises some questions for me about privacy and data security.
Oh, absolutely.
How much data are we comfortable sharing with our buildings?
Right.
And who has access to that information?
Those are critical questions for sure.
Yeah.
And as buildings become smarter,
Yeah.
it's essential to establish some really clear guidelines for data collection, usage, and protection.
Okay.
Transparency and user control are going to be paramount.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that these AI-powered buildings, they're enhancing our lives
Yeah.
without compromising our privacy or autonomy.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a delicate balance.
It is.
Now, I can't help but wonder about the human element.
Yeah.
Will we lose something in this pursuit of efficiency and optimization?
Mm-hmm.
Will our cities become kind of sterile and impersonal, dominated by algorithms?
That's a real risk and one we definitely need to guard against.
Yeah.
It's crucial to remember that AI is a tool.
Right.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill.
Right.
The future of architecture isn't about replacing human creativity with algorithms.
Okay.
It's about finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
where human intuition and technological innovation complement each other,
Okay,
creating spaces that are not only functional and efficient,
right.
but also inspiring, meaningful, and deeply human.
So what's the takeaway for our listeners?
Yeah, that's the big question.
What should they be thinking about as we step into this new era of AI-driven architecture?
I think the most important thing is to stay curious and engaged.
Okay,
Learn about these new tools, explore their potential, think
Yeah.
critically about their implications,
okay,
engage in conversations about the future of our built environment,
right.
and advocate for designs that are not only innovative,
Yeah.
but also ethical, sustainable, and inclusive.
It's not just about passively observing the changes happening around us.
Right.
It's about actively shaping the future we want to see.
Exactly. And with the power of AI at our fingertips, I mean, the possibilities really are limitless.
Well, we hope this deep dive has kind of sparked your curiosity and inspired you to think differently about the spaces we inhabit.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks for joining.